Hello everyone, I'm very glad to welcome all of you on our Total Rewards course. And today we have class number 1. So we are going to learn about the Total Reward concept and what it includes. And this course is based on the most recent World at Work Total Rewards model, as you can see today. So let's begin. This is information about myself, so let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Pritula. I worked for different companies like Alpha Bank, like Starlight Media. It was STB TV channel, one of the biggest media company in the Eastern Europe. Then it was Wargaming, then Preply, Ideals. I worked with PeopleForce, and then I launched my academy and my product Papa HR that I will present you later today. And talking about this specific course, the most experience I received during both working at STB TV channel, mostly with the focus on compensation benefits, and then at Wargaming, working with Total Rewards. During my work at Wargaming, I joined the team of Glenn Elliott. Actually, it was a time that Wargaming company decided to improve its Total Rewards. Like, actually, they were not thinking about Total Rewards itself, but rather about how to improve the attractiveness of the company, both to potential candidates and to employees. So the company hired Glenn Elliott, and this guy was super experienced person because he worked with Google, so he built compensation strategy for Google. He worked with Tesla, he worked with Hewlett-Packard, he worked with Redford and other companies. So his experience just great. And I was in his team for the whole year, developing the total reward strategy and practices at Wargaming. And actually, together with him, we started the very first salary compensation survey in Belarus with Redford. And after the successful implementation of this project, and it was very important for Wargaming and for Redford itself. And after the success of this project, I received, and Glenn received with me as well, as you can see here, the thank you letter from Brenda de Souza, director of Redford, sorry. And actually, we were in touch with Redford himself, and he was very thankful to Glenn and to myself as well. So this is my experience. This is experience of my boss, Glenn. And actually, at my work and at my academy, I usually rely both on my personal experience, which I have a lot. Like I work at the moment, I have like 20 years of HR related experience, and then on the best practices, and you'll see it today, right? So we will be talking about some ideas and then some researches, some models, and so on. Yeah, and a little about your homework. You expect to have every homework for every class, and after all of your homework are completed, we can issue you a diploma, right? So this is a requirement. You need to accomplish all your home assignments to receive the diploma. And this diploma is issued on a very popular platform, which is credible, and the platform is used by such companies like Google, like Zendesk, like even Harvard University. So I'm going to post this video on YouTube, so I'm asking you, everyone who's watching this on YouTube, please write in the comments your name, your job title. You may present your company as well. So it's kind of a way to get know each other better. Okay, and the framework. This framework, it's developed by World at Work, is used in this course like a standard framework for total rewards because this specific organization, they do a lot for total rewards. So we are synchronized with their framework. This is a course program. We have 16 classes. So it means that we have 16 home assignments that will help you to practice your knowledge, to receive the feedback, to try something, actually even to implement something in your company. And today, the very first class. So this is a class for today. We are going to talk about compensation, benefits, well-being, recognition of achievement, development and career opportunities, how it's all connected to employee value proposition, linked to turnover and retention. We will be talking about the global total rewards trends and what is the role of total rewards specialist, expert, head, director, you name it. Okay, so let's start our webinar and let's learn from this. What are total rewards in this course? In this course, I use this model that I developed based on World at Work model and all other practices that I found during my work at Wargaming. So I have compensation part, benefits, recognition of achievement, work life, talent development, and performance management. And you may see that there are some programs, some items in each sphere, in each direction, right? So I developed this and described this during my work at Wargaming just to launch EVP audit before we go implementing total reward strategy. And this is based on different researches, different approaches. And let's try to understand the current the current, how to say, importance of total rewards, the current trends, the current situation. So when it comes to the global research, when it comes to like not just some country research, Randstad is another company that is doing a lot to research different trends which are connected to total rewards. They call it brand research, but as you will see later, company employer brand is very connected to what we call total rewards, like two different sides of one coin, right? Okay, so what this research by Randstad is saying that top 5 reasons employees choose an employer are salary and benefits, work-life balance, job security, pleasant work atmosphere, and equity. And there is another research. This is a Korn Ferry research. Actually, some of this research I'm going to share with you below this video, below this webinar in your student account. So please scroll down and download those researches and read them because they are very important. So Korn Ferry is saying that after they spoke to 10,000 professionals, so this is based on employees, and they cover 100,000 employees worldwide. Not just employees, but I would say just people, right? And this research is based on the HR opinion. So they spoke to 10,000 professionals at all stages of their career, from entry level to the CEO, in 6 markets, and those markets. Their insights reveal a global snapshot of how people are feeling in the Americas, EMEA, and the PAC. And they told them their top priorities when choosing a new job, what keeps them in their current job, what makes them want to leave a job, how organizations can motivate their workforce, plus hundreds of additional insights into today's workplace. And they discovered that the top 3 drivers for people in 2024 are the first, generous salary, bonus, and compensation. Then next, flexible working hours, and then high job security. Okay, so let's move on. This is again from Randstad. Actually, Randstad, they're not repeating their research every year, like many of companies, right? So if you want to find some useful information, you have to analyze at least 5 recent research, like from the recent 5 years. So you may see 2024, 2023, 21, 22. So it doesn't mean that this is not recent, right? This is because they don't publish the same information every year, so they take another approach, another point of view. So you need to analyze those all. So again, some executive summary from the research. 61% of employees globally consider salary and benefits to be an important driver. 57% rate a good work-life balance as important, making it the second most important driver. And 55% of employees find long-term job security important. And also, what is interesting, there are some regional differences. Yeah, of course, there are some regions which looks like similar. This is a global research, and then some regions. So the first place is the same for all regions. This is salary and benefits. But the second place for Latin America is different. So for Latin America, we see that the second place is pleasant work atmosphere. And then the third place, we see it's all different in every country. Yeah, this is interesting. So why total rewards? Why it's so important at the moment? Because something is happening in the world. And the world itself is changing and it goes through different changes all the time. It started with mechanization, which was the first production and economical revolution. Then it was industrialization. Recent, it was about automation, and now we are living during the cybernetic revolution. So we see how all those AI, all those robots, they are coming to the workforce, to the workplace, they are working with the workforce, and they are changing, and actually they are shaping the world, right? So we need to adapt to those changes. Otherwise, we can't survive as a company. So we need to learn what's changing in terms of the companies. And the business is changing, right? Like the world is changing and the business is following. Previous, very, how to say, 100 years ago was very important to control resources. So there were lots of different wars just to receive those resources. Then, like 100 years ago, it was all about receiving or gaining the maximum money, right? The main focus for all business 100 years ago was to have maximum money. Then recent companies, recent business, they they were trying to focus on cool product like Apple company and other companies. So they were building cool product first, and then it was about money. And recent companies, like companies from the recent decade, they are focusing on improving the world. Like this is the main focus for them, how to improve the world. And we may find interesting situations, interesting practices in different companies that were very strange for previous companies. Because first, when Netflix introduced the idea to pay top dollar, it was very strange, right? Like no one could understand why someone want to pay the highest possible salary. So they decided, it was kind of 10 years ago, to pay at the upper end of the market. Also to introduce no vacation control. And then at the same time, they introduced this retention test. Which employees will I try as a manager to retain at all costs if they leave for a similar position with another company? And the others should receive severance pay and leave. So this is why the idea for Netflix when they introduced this practice. Also, you may heard about Zappos company. Zappos has given up on managers like several years ago. I think it was in 2015, 2016. So they chose holacracy as a way of governing. If you don't like it, just leave it. And managers who are in good standing with the company have been offered a salary until the end of the year, but they must find another role in the business. So I call this new company, and actually there are some resources that try to collect this kind of companies. I personally prefer this great place to work resource that try to find and accumulate those companies and to certify them. So these companies, they give the award as a great place to work, not just because someone wants the award, not because someone pays for the award, but they give the award based on the employee survey. And that asking employees to answer these kind of questions. If they are proud to tell others that they work here, the working conditions in the company create a good working environment, yes or no? People care about each other here. People celebrate special occasions here. I'm offered training or development to help me become more professional. So some companies, they want to receive this great place to work award. They want to align with all requirements, and they are building something new that weren't before. And I call this new company. I call this concept new company. And some examples, for example, one of those companies that received the award is Horizon Media. What do they offer to their employees? Parenting program like feeding ease of returning to work, amenities, entrepreneurial thinking courses, idea collecting and support program, rental house at a ski resort, mediation and yoga, once a month health day like massages, manicures, fitness classes, outdoor terrace on the premises, corporate celebrations, employee recognition program, and unlimited sick leave. And of course, much more. So characteristics of these new companies are following. They build other than average employee relations. They use and utilize other motivation factors. So they look far and beyond, not just salaries and incentives. And they, actually the result, they are building other customer relations, these new companies. When it comes to employee relations, these companies, they are building several layers of these relations. The traditional and the most popular approach and the layer is like a core approach. It's just employment contract. So you sign the contract, you have some responsibilities, but also you have some opportunities, and that's it. But also there is a brand contract when you love your company because of its brand, right? So it's like a loyalty. Then there is a psychological contract when you feel the belonging to the company. And then it's about partnership. So when you are becoming the part of those company. Okay, so why company actually try and not just try, they do this? Why companies are focusing on all those stuff? Not because they want to be good companies, not because of ethical or even legal obligations. No, of course not. Not because great HR director or generous leadership team. No, not at all. They are doing this because they know, based on different research, like this research by Gallup, that if they invest in their people, they will receive the high outcome of their work. So, for example, based on the Gallup research, those companies which have higher engagement level than the average on the market, they have this kind of results. 10% higher customer satisfaction, 22% higher profitability, 21% higher productivity, 25% lower employee turnover, 48% lower accidents, 28% lower theft, 37% lower absenteeism, and finally 41% lower defects. Okay, so how it evolved to what we call now total rewards. So it started at 1900. The owner of the business pays for the work and just it. Rarely pensions or profit sharing or guaranteed wages. And benefit payments did not exist at all at that time. Then in 70s, 80s, companies saw benefits as a competitive advantage. And that was the time they started focusing on benefits. 90s realizes that it takes more than compensation and benefits to attract, retain, and motivate people. And 2000, HR began to have challenges to solve compensation problems that involved multiple HR disciplines at once. It's all grown and evolved into total rewards. Okay, so what are total rewards that we are talking here? Total rewards are all available HR tools that can be used to attract, retain, and motivate employees. And I am going to repeat these rewards all the course. It's about attract, retain, and motivate. Three very important goals. Total rewards is everything the company is willing to invest in its employees. It's everything that employees value in their relationship with the company. The goal of total rewards is to foster desired employee behaviors that drive company strategy and business success. And it is a right mix of rewards that meets the personal and financial needs of current and future employees on a limited budget. So, to be strong in total rewards, you need to be strong in general HR as well, because total rewards is not just about compensation benefits. It's everything HR could use to attract, retain, and motivate employees. So the purpose of total rewards. Total rewards stands at the intersection of all HR disciplines and encompasses all innovations in both business and HR. What's good for one company may be bad for another. So it's not just about copying. And the goal is to build a system in your company that sends the right signals to employees and provides a return on investment for the company. So, employee in focus. In this shift to a knowledge and service-based economy, the employee-company relationship is beginning to evolve as well. Looking at employees as drivers of performance, companies are changing their approaches to attracting, retaining, and motivating employees. And total rewards has entered into circulation and our conversation as a way to address these issues. So what's included in total rewards concept? There is a simple version, which I would say is not correct. It's not about total rewards. It's just about compensation and benefits, and sometimes some other measurable elements such as development. This is used to be called compensation and benefits, but now it's more often total compensation or total remuneration. This is a limited understanding of total rewards, but the whole version of total rewards is everything the employee receives as a result of their work. This is sometimes also called the value proposition or employer value proposition. Why are companies moving to the full version, like from just compensation and benefits for wider understanding of total rewards? Classic elements no longer work, and I will prove it later. I will show you the diagram. So classic elements no longer work as differentiating factors between a company and its competitors. In addition, everyone is striving for the median of the market. The need to be efficient and frugal, the efficiency of $1 paid out in the form of salary is lower than peers. The need to meet different needs, different people needs. Not everyone values salary equally, like not more than 50% in Eastern Europe. Need to be able to attract everyone. Total Rewards is able to respond to different employee needs. And the other components of Total Rewards better connect with the company's strategy and allow for messaging to employees. And we will be talking about how to align company strategy and Total Reward strategy. Okay, so that's the proof why money is not enough. This is based on Korn Ferry research that I'm going to share. I'm going to share the whole research with you below this presentation, below this video on your student account. So this is the impact of rewards, like delivery complexity and memorable impact. So we see the cash is easy to deliver and it's not memorable. Then virtual gift cards, physical gift cards, curated merchandise, travel, and finally symbolic items. So when you invest your time and effort in remuneration, in rewards, in recognition, you receive higher outcome. And because it's about cash, because it's about money, you have to focus on the ROI, not just how much you invest, right? So you can't just pay lots of dollars. You have to choose the right way to invest those dollars so to receive the higher outcome from your employees in form of their results, in form of their desire to join the company, to keep working with the company, not to leave the company, and so on. So in our course, Total Rewards, we will call anything that's valued in a relationship with the company. We will consider the monetary and non-monetary rewards that the company gives to an employee in exchange for time, talents, efforts, results, and loyalty. Just a second. What we include in total rewards. So in total rewards in this course, we will include compensations, benefits, well-being, performance management, recognition of achievements, and talent management. So total reward strategy is the art of combining these 6 factors into unique packages designed to achieve optimal motivation. Currently, World at Work organization, they call performance management and talent management careers. But for better understanding, for diving into details, I will continue to use this split careers into performance management and talent management just to show you the bigger picture. Okay, so the role of total rewards in business. This is the model, this is a framework we are talking today. It's developed by World at Work, it's the most recent one. So they are showing us that there is a people value proposition that helps company to attract, retain, and motivate people, which is connected to total reward strategy that is divided into compensation, benefits, well-being, as you can see, careers, which I'm calling performance management and talent management, and finally recognition. And if it's well organized, it generates the optimal organization performance due to expanded capabilities, human capital value, and sustainable success. Yeah. And it's also elevated workforce experiences, committed workforce, inspired people, and rewarding work. So let's consider some details, what we mean by compensations. This is a payment by the employer to the employee for performance. It includes salary and variable remuneration, which is paid for performance, right? So it consists of fixed part, like a basic payment, which is always paid. Then variable part depends on performance, reviewed regularly, and requires effort to earn each time. Short-term incentives up to a year, and then long-term incentives. Let's say employee stock ownership plan. This is over a year, usually includes shares, options, payouts, and so on. Then benefits, programs that the company uses to support cash benefits. In general, they provide a sense of security and stability for employees and their families. And as you can saw recently, on the recent slide, those security is among 5 top factors to attract and retain employees in the company based on different research. Then well-being, or we may call this work-life, or we may call this welfare and similar words. This is a defined set of company practices and policies and actually procedures, plus a philosophy, which is very important, that supports the employees' efforts to succeed in both directions, at work and at home. And this part is very important because, for example, flexible working hours is among top 3 factors of choosing the new job. Performance management. This is a link in personal team, and organizational efforts to achieve business goals and company success. It includes goal setting, skill demonstration, evaluation, feedback, and continuous development. Then recognition of achievements. Attention to employee actions, efforts, behaviors, and results engages intrinsic motivation, and we will learn actually how to build this. Usually occurs immediately without predetermined goals, and reward can be monetary or non-monetary praise, awards, certificate, dinners, and tickets. Then development and career opportunities. Development, this is or talent management to make it simple. Development is a set of training activities to develop employee skills and competencies aimed to increase in efficiency. And career opportunities, the company's plan for employee career development. So let's learn about some work practices regarding total rewards and some trends. These are top EVP factors, the whole list, not just top 5 or top 3. This is by Randstad. So we see that top 5 are attractive salary and benefits, work-life balance, job security, pleasant work atmosphere, and financial health. And it could change over the time, like I would say top 7 are all the same, but top 5 could be changed like their positions. Then we have what? Career progression, good training, strong management. During the COVID, it was an important COVID-safe work environment, location, interesting job content, very good reputation, possibility to work remotely, diversity and inclusion, when company gives back to society, and when company uses latest technologies. You may say, why actually COVID is in list? Because there is no more COVID. Yes, you are totally right. But please pay attention that when there was a COVID, it was 43%, which means that people are looking for companies who could respond to the current situation very quickly. So it's not enough to build just one-time system to attract, retain, and motivate people. You always have to pay attention to what's happening, because at some point something could happen and employees will be looking for companies who respond immediately. And that's why I'm leaving it here, despite the fact that we have no COVID anymore. Okay, so this is by Korn Ferry, just a different survey. It's based on, I think let me check. It's probably based on HR opinion, and it also has age range. So it shows that different age range, they have different preferences, which is interesting. But as we can see, let's pick, I think it goes from here. Global average 19. Yeah, so we are moving from here, then here. So the list looks like this. Flexible working hours is a top place. Then generous salary, bonus, and compensation. High job security, like stable company and employer. Excellent learning and development opportunities. Hybrid working options. Jobs in field industries that I like. Full-time remote working, colleagues I enjoy working with, generous non-salary bonus, compensation benefits and rewards, short commute to office. This is interesting. And as you can see, this is the most important for older people, because for younger people, doesn't matter. Yeah, full-time in the office, to be part of culture and value systems that I respect, excellent diversity and inclusion within the company, status and respect for my position in the company, excellent sustainability policies and practices within the company, brand is well known and respected, hiring manager, I respect and trust, plentiful opportunities for lateral moves and trying new things, and low number of recent layoffs. Yeah, this is interesting. And top 6 reason for staying in the company based on Korn Ferry. Money plus perks, flexible hours, job security, nice colleagues, great manager, and learning and development opportunities. These are not on the list for top 5, because when you join the company, you actually don't know those colleagues, you don't know your manager, but then when you work for some period of time, you know your colleagues, you know your manager, and they are the part of retention system for yourself. Then total rewards program whose usage is increasing. Again, it's from 2022. It's not because it's outdated, right? Because I was looking for the recent research, but the current idea of those research is they don't repeat every research year to year. So if you want to find what is growing, you have to check for like last 5 years and find the survey when it's reflected. So don't pay attention to those years. Doesn't mean it's outdated. It's just because those companies, they do different research every year. But in general, it's very interesting what kind of total rewards programs, it's based on World at Work research, are the most important in the world, what the most popular. So we see the list of those programs, and it will help us also to understand what we call the program, what we call total rewards program. So dental plan, prescription drug plan, vision plan, holiday plan, telemedicine services, pay equity adjustments, referral bonus, sign-on bonus, market-based adjustments, health savings accounts, appreciation luncheons, outings, formal events, dependent care spending account program, unpaid job protected time off to care for or bond with new child, spot bonus, design telework, personal financial planning services, health advocacy program, retention bonus, on-site fitness center, restricted and stock restricted stock units, legal insurance, referral or consultation, accelerated adjustments for high potential, high performance, based place to work branding initiative, you see, identity theft insurance, pet insurance, subsidized weight loss programs, stock options, stock appreciation rights, fertility assistance, cash profit sharing, and unlimited paid time off. Yep, which is interesting for better understanding what we call total rewards program, what kind of total rewards program are the most popular in the world. Utilization is declining. So some of those programs, they are on decline, like outside seminars and conferences, right? Because it's all becoming online. Informal coaching, mentoring, leadership training, general, pay for holidays, worked above standard. Emerging leadership programs, shift flexibility, phased return to work after leave of absence, non-qualified deferred compensation plan, HMO medical plan, on-site fitness classes, compressed work week, job sharing, forced ranking, and travel-related dependent care expense reimbursement. Yep. Then what's happening with salary growth? Salary actually growing in the world year to year, but it depends, of course, on the country, and it's connected to the inflation. Plans for increasing salaries, again, it's just 1 year because they don't publish for every year. But when I check numbers and I compare when I can numbers for different year, I see that data for the 5 recent years, they're quite similar. So you may rely on data if it's not more than 5 years old. So just information for different countries and for different job levels. And again, by country, yeah, Turkey is one of the countries with the highest salary growth. Yeah. Then bonus. Most of companies, they do play bonus, which is quite understandable. Average bonus in the world is about 10% for Eastern European countries. Eastern, yeah, it's about 15%. They were previously in CIS region, but now CIS is broken, so we call it Eastern European also and Central Asian countries. Yeah, and then shares, most of top managers, senior managers, they do have shares. Compensation programs, what kind of compensation programs are there? So we have, again, this is just one of example. They're comparing this for pandemic, but for myself, it's very interesting what kind of compensation programs are mentioned in all those researches. So let's read some of them. like utilization of corporate social responsibility, upside incentive award, target opportunity, size of incentive target awards, eligibility for incentive awards, and so on. Then performance management, why I'm focusing on performance management, why I'm not removing this from total rewards model, because in a Western world, performance management is quite popular, but in some part of the world, like Europe, and specifically Eastern Europe and Central Asia, it still has some problems with performance management, like no performance management practices at all. That is why I'm focusing companies on performance management, on the need to introduce and to start managing the performance. Recognition of achievements, which is very interesting. By achievement here, we mean something that wasn't expected. It's not just standard bonus or incentive plan. It's like a spot award. So some companies, they don't have budget at all. Some companies, they have the budget as a part of payroll. So for example, at Wargaming, we have this 1.5% of our payroll for recognition of achievement. And also, when it comes to recognition of achievement, more and more peer-to-peer recognition is introducing in different companies. Yeah. Then benefits. On average, companies offer lots of benefits, and yet they count everything, not just something that you need to spend money. And in general, when a company pays for something, employees appreciate it. However, people are more appreciative of things like camaraderie. The most popular benefits, again, from one of the researchers, like no dress code, flexible hours, cookies and coffee in the kitchen, ability to work from home, participation in professional associations, events and corporate events, online training, on-site coffee shop, seniority award or service award, we call this as alternative, office gym, and what companies plan to add. Like companies are usually plan to add something new, and this is a good idea. This is just an overview of what could be added. Then some trends about relative to the following non-financial reward practices and the extent that organizations are using them more, less, or about the same as before the pandemic. Then how total rewards works. So we now know quite a lot about total rewards, but we didn't talk about why it works actually. So all total rewards are based on psychological research. It started with Frederick Herzberg in 1950. He identified hygiene and motivational factors, and then it was developed with Abraham Maslow. He identified the factors of motivation. So, motivational did not include pay and benefits. Motivation requires an approach like total rewards. So, if we see Maslow pyramid, and if we compare to total rewards framework, we will find that those total rewards parts are very connected with this Maslow pyramid, hierarchy pyramid. So we may say that when company is introducing total rewards principles in the company, they cover more and more layers of this Maslow pyramid, and they are more ready to satisfy different employee needs, even when all those needs are changing constantly, right? Because if you could just satisfy some basic needs, you will still attract some employees, you will retain some employees, but what you will have that when those needs are changing. So imagine you attract employees who need salary and benefits. They are on this level, psychological, physiological, and safety. But then in your company, feeling safe, they start thinking about belonging and love, self-esteem, and others level, and you can't offer anything. So they leave. They leave for another company as soon as their basic needs are satisfied. And when you introduce total rewards model, you can serve people, you can serve employees at different levels of their needs. Okay, so now the final point here for today, the total rewards employee role. Doesn't matter, it's just a senior, or just a specialist, senior specialist, expert, lead, or even director, right? So this role means that you analyze external and internal factors in the business. You do research of your employees and candidates and their needs. You develop total reward strategy. You link total reward strategy to business strategy and company culture. You manage compensations in the company. You develop benefits package. You implement work-life practices. You budget personal costs, and you evaluate the effectiveness of total rewards. And together with the rest HR team, you develop a system for performance management and recognition of achievement. You develop a talent management system for the company. And you link total rewards to employer value proposition and employer brand to increase the attractiveness of the company. That's what you do as a total rewards whoever, like a specialist, expert, lead, or director, or vice president. This is a resources for further study. If you want to read something, if you are looking for a great book, I highly recommend you to read this book, The World at Work Handbook of Total Rewards. This is the second edition. I read the first edition in 2014, I think. Yeah, and this is the newer one, so highly recommend you to read this as well. And now your homework. So you are going to fill the EVP audit checklist to understand your current total reward system in the company. So what you do, you register here at our, I call this HR consultant. Yeah. So you are going to register on Papa HR platform, and among different checklists, you are going to choose EVP audit checklist. Later, you may do the whole Power HR audit checklist, which is 10 times bigger than just this part. But for the purpose of our homework, for the purpose of this course, you just fill your EVP audit checklist. It's in English. And you need to fill the audit. So actually you open the checklist and you choose the mark yes, no. You may describe something just for yourself. So you just basically answer yes or no. And then after you submit your audit, you'll receive the report with some tips and some recommendations. So you may then implement those recommendations and check the checkbox that is done. So after you fill the audit, and at the page when you see your result, you have to copy the address to this page, your personal address, and send this address as a part of your homework. But the address itself is not enough. What you do, you also share your thoughts about what you got, about what you see, maybe about your plans, right? Just share your thoughts in the free way, just like a no, like an essay. Yeah, this is it. And next time during our next class, we will be talking about the developing a total reward strategy and linking it to business objectives. So thank you for your attention. I'll be waiting for your homework and see you soon. Bye.